Hey everyone, I'm Matt Dolan with Dolan Divorce Lawyers in Connecticut, and today I'm going to talk about how debts are dealt with in a divorce agreement. So I'm going to share my screen and show you some sample debts, also known as liabilities. So I'm going to show you some sample liability language from a divorce agreement. So the first and most simple situation is where the parties keep their separate debts. So in that scenario, you would say the parties shall each be solely responsible for the liabilities listed on their respective financial affidavits. That just means, party number one is going to keep what they have, party number two keeps what they have for debts. You also might have folks divide, equally divide certain joint debts. So some sample language there is that the party shall be equally responsible for the blank debt. So you list the account listed on their financial affidavits. Neither party shall make any expenditures on the account following the date of dissolution. That's pretty standard. You don't want, if there's a joint credit card and the two of them are going to equally divide it in a divorce, you're not going to continue to make expenditures on that joint account after the divorce is over, because obviously that would confuse things. If wife is, spending on the account, then it shouldn't still be equally divided. So you want to deal with that language. And then the party shall pay off the debt at a rate of blank. So you usually want the two parties to be paying off the debt at the same rate. So, $500 a month or whatever. That way, as interest continues to accrue, if they're not paying it at the same rate, it's not really fair to the person who's making faster payments, because, if the interest is accruing, that really should be the responsibility of the person who's not making payments as quickly. So it can become complicated, and that is why you want to have parties, whenever possible, paying off debt at the same rate. And this doesn't necessarily need to be equally responsible. You can say, husband is responsible for 75%, wife is responsible for 25%. And in that scenario, you might want to, you would still probably want to set a payment rate. So that would, and you would want to deal with the numbers accordingly. So if it's not equal, if it's 75-25, you might, for example, say husband pays $750 a month, wife pays $250 per month. And then after the debt is paid off, the joint account shall be closed. And you can often close the account before the debt is even paid off, so that you don't have a scenario of somebody making expenditures on the account after the date of divorce. So that's how joint debts are dealt with when both parties are paying. And you can have it so that one party is paying for the debt of another, or you can have it where one party is responsible for a joint debt. So I probably should have clarified the language here, but you get the picture. So the sample language you can put there is and this is just an example using the husband. So the husband shall be solely responsible for the blank debt. So insert a descriptor listed on the wife's financial affidavit. Neither party shall make any expenditures on the account following the date of dissolution. So that's what I explained before. And then you're going to want to say that he's going to pay the debt off at the rate of $500 a month, or whatever you decide. Or you might say he's going to pay the debt off completely within 7 days or within 30 days. Or sometimes you'll say, sometimes a house is being sold, which will free up assets. So you might say he's going to pay off the debt within 7 days following the distribution of the net proceeds from the sale of the house. You can tailor the language however you need, but this is kind of a standard framework for how the debt language is dealt with. And then below that, I just put some boilerplate language that we put in almost all divorce agreements. I'm not going to read through it. It's just something that you can insert at the bottom of the liability section, or further down in a divorce agreement, just have it somewhere. So that is a rundown on how debts are dealt with in a divorce.